Hello guys, welcome to my channel. In this video I am going to explain how to analyze the indeterminate truss by using the consistent deformation method. So in the previous videos I have explained how to analyze the indeterminate truss by using the Castigliano's method. So from this video we will see how to analyze the truss by using the consistent deformation method. So let us start the solution. So the process is almost similar. So if you know how to analyze the truss by Castigliano's method, so if you have followed my previous videos in the Castigliano's method, then this method will be very easy. So only the last step will be changes. The remaining all steps are almost same. There will be no change. So if you haven't seen the previous videos, then I will provide the link in the description. You can watch those videos and you can watch, and later you can watch this video. So the first step is check static indeterminacy. So for any analysis we have to check the indeterminacy. So the formula for plane truss is m plus r minus 2j. Number of members, m is the number of members and there are 15 members. If you want you can count them. So number of r is the number of external reactions. Hinged support has 2 external reactions, roller support has 1 external reaction. So therefore 2 plus 1 is equal to 3 minus 2 into number of joints. There are total 8 joints. If you want you can count. These two are not joints. Okay, these are just crossings. So the SI value is obtained as 2. So the next one is to calculate the external indeterminacy. The formula for calculation of external indeterminacy is number r minus number of equilibrium equations. Number of external reactions are 3. So you have 3 here minus number of equilibrium equations are 3. So external indeterminacy is 0. The next one is to calculate the internal indeterminacy. The formula for calculation of internal indeterminacy is so static indeterminacy minus external indeterminacy. The static indeterminacy is 2 and the external indeterminacy is 0. So we have obtained internal indeterminacy as 2. So the truss is internally indeterminate by 2 degrees. So that is what I have written here. The truss is internally indeterminate by 2 degrees. So since I got internal indeterminacy, I will choose members as redundant. So the value is 2. So I have to choose 2 members as redundant. So in this problem I will choose BG and DG as redundants. So you can choose any member. Now I am choosing BG and DG as redundants. I am removing these 2 members from this truss and again I will redraw this. So after removing the redundants, this is the diagram I have obtained. So as you can see that I have taken BG and DG as redundants. So I have removed BG and DG from the given truss. So I have redrawn the same truss here. So we will start the second step, that is calculation of support reactions. The calculation of support reactions are very easy. So as you can observe that there is one vertical reaction at A, let it be VA, and there is one vertical reaction at E, let it be VE. Now if you observe the truss is symmetrical about y-axis. Okay, so in these cases if the truss is symmetrical, then each reaction will be equal to total load divided by 2. Okay, therefore VA equal to total load is 40 plus 80 plus 40 plus 80 plus 40 divided by 2. It comes 80 kilonewton. And similarly VE equal to same 40 plus 80 plus 40 whole divided by 2. It is 80 kilonewton. Because the truss is symmetrical. If it is not symmetrical, then you have to apply sigma V equal to 0 and also sigma m equal to 0. Since the truss is symmetrical, I have used the symmetry property and I have calculated the both reactions. So the next step is calculation of P0 forces. So for the diagram I have shown here, we have to calculate the P0 forces. So while calculation of P0 forces, you have to keep in mind that the truss is symmetrical about y-axis. So if we calculate first half of the part, then the other half of the part will be same. So if I calculated the force in member AB, then the same will be in member DE. If I calculated force in member BH, the same will be in the DF. So whatever the forces are in the left half, the same will be on the right half. So we will start by taking one joint as an example. I will explain one joint. So I am taking joint A. I am applying sigma V equal to 0. So this is 80 kilonewton and this is also 80 kilonewton. So if I take joint A, this 80 kilonewton is towards upward. So plus 80. And next one is assume the force in member AB in downward direction, because the reaction is in upward direction. Then you have to assume in downward direction. You can also assume in upward direction also. There will be no problem. So I am assuming this one in downward direction. So in order to maintain in equilibrium, I am assuming in downward direction. So since it is in downward direction, it will be minus. I am assuming the force in member AB as PAB. So if I resolve it vertically, so I have to, since this is an inclined member, I have to resolve in vertical direction. If I resolve in vertical direction, it will be PAB sin theta equal to 0. 80 minus PAB sin theta is nothing but let it, this angle be theta and opposite side by hypotenuse. This is 4 meters which is given in the question, and this is 5 meters. So right angle triangle property 3, 4 and 5. Opposite side 4 meters by hypotenuse 5 meters. So I am applying 4 by 5 equal to 0. From this I got PAB equal to 100 kilonewton. So this arrow is towards the joint, it is compressing the joint. So this will be in the compression 100. So this will be in the compression. So similarly I will apply sigma H equal to 0. So if I apply sigma H equal to 0, so if I resolve this member horizontally, this arrow will be in left side direction. So I will take minus PAB. If I resolve this member horizontally, it will be cos theta. Okay, next the force in member AH I am assuming in this direction, because this arrow is in towards the joint. Now I am assuming away from the joint. Okay, this is towards right side direction. So plus PAH. The member is PAH. Sorry, AH. So the force will be PAH. So equal to 0. PAB is already calculated 100. Cos theta is adjacent side by hypotenuse. This is 3 meters. This will be 5 meters. Plus PAH equal to 0. So therefore PAH equal to 60 kilonewton. So this will be tensile force, because the arrow is away from the joint. It is dragging the joint. So it will be in tension. So by property of symmetry, you can see the truss is symmetrical about y-axis. If this member is 100 kilonewton compression, this member also will be in the 100 kilonewton compression. If this member is 60 kilonewton tension, then this member also will be in 60 kilonewton tension due to the property of symmetry. You no need to again go to the joint E and resolve it. Okay, it will save time. So whenever you are solving the symmetrical trusses, you can apply the property of symmetry. So similarly, you can calculate at B, H and C also to obtain the forces in half part of the truss and apply the same forces in the remaining half part. So I have calculated all the forces by taking left half of the joint A, B, H and G. So I have obtained the forces in each member and I have placed all the values in this diagram. So the values which are rounded indicates the compression. Just for identification I have drawn like that. So you can see here that by the property of symmetry, I have if this is 50 kilonewton, this is also 50, this is 80, this is 80 and this is 80. Whatever the forces are present on the left side, the same forces will be on the right side due to the property of symmetry. So with these calculations we have completed the third step. Now we will start the fourth step, that is calculation of P1 forces. So in the first step itself I took BG and member DG as redundant. That means this member and this member as redundant. So now I will first consider the member BG. I will apply, so I am writing here, apply unit load, that means 1 kilonewton on member BG. So right now I am talking only about the member BG. That means this member. I have drawn separately the diagram. This diagram I have not written here. P naught, this diagram is known as P naught diagram. Now in the member BG, I will apply 1 kilonewton tensile force. I will apply 1 kilonewton tensile force and I will analyze the forces in remaining members. So there are no external loads here, so there won't be any reactions here. Okay, now use the method of joints in which we have done in the previous step and obtain the values in each member. So if you don't understand why these members became 0, then you can take joint A, resolve the members, and you can find the member forces in these two members and these two members. It will be equal to 0. Now I will take joint B. I will take one joint as an example and I will explain you how to calculate. So I am taking joint B. First I will apply sigma V equal to 0. If I apply sigma V equal to 0, this 1 kilonewton, this arrow is going in downward direction. So it is minus. Now I should resolve this member vertically. If I resolve this member vertically, it will be sine component. We know that sine theta equal to opposite side by hypotenuse. Opposite side is 4 meters and hypotenuse is 5 meters. So I am writing directly here, okay. And there is also a member vertical direction BH. BH is also a member in vertical direction. So if this arrow is going downward, I will assume this one as upwards. So plus PBH equal to 0. Therefore PBH equal to 4 by 5. That means it will be 0.8. So this arrow is moving in upward direction, okay. So it will be in the compression. This arrow is compressing the joint B. So it will be in compression and this is the 4 by 5. And next I will apply similarly sigma H equal to 0. So if I resolve this member horizontally, this arrow will be in the right side direction. So I will take plus 1. If I resolve in horizontal direction, then it will be cos component, cos theta equal to adjacent side by hypotenuse, that means 3 by 5. There is also a member BC in horizontal direction. So if this arrow is towards right side, then assume the arrow will be in the left side, then minus PBC. It is in left side direction, so minus. This arrow will be in the right side direction. Now I assumed this one in left side direction. Therefore PBC is equal to 3 by 5, that equal to 0.6. Okay, this is in compression and this is also in compression. The arrow is compressing the joint, 3 by 5. So in the similar manner, you can take joint C, joint G and joint H and you can analyze. You will get the same values as 4 by 5 compression. Here is 3 by 5. So majority of the members will be in the compression and in this member CH will be tension 1 kilonewton. So the remaining forces, the remaining will be equal to 0. So if you have any doubt, you can analyze separately. So this is the process which we adopted in the P1 forces, and this diagram is known as P1 diagram. So now this we have completed the fourth step. So after completion of fourth step, we will start fifth step, that is P2 forces. In the P1 forces, we have taken BG and we have applied 1 kilonewton. Now we will take member DG and apply 1 kilonewton on, so I will write here, apply 1 kilonewton on member DG. So this is the DG member. I am applying 1 kilonewton load tensile force. Now I will analyze the truss by using the method of joints. Since there are no external loads, the external reactions will be 0. So these are the 0 force members. If you want, you can analyze it. These are the 0 force members which I have directly written without any calculation. If you want, you can take each joint and analyze that joint and you will get 0. I will take joint D as an example and apply sigma V equal to 0. So if I apply sigma V equal to 0, this 1 kilonewton, if I resolve vertically, this 1 kilonewton is going downward. So minus if I resolve this vertically, it will be sine component. So sine theta is opposite side by hypotenuse. Opposite side is 4 meters and hypotenuse is 5 meters. Minus 1 into 4 by 5. Now, if this arrow is downward, I am assuming this one as upward direction. Okay, this is downward and this will be upward. Then only it will be in equilibrium. So, if it is upwards, then it will be plus PDF equal to 0. Therefore, PDF equal to 4 by 5. So, since it is compressing the joint, it will be in the compression. So, it will be 4 by 5. So, at the same joint, I will apply sigma h equal to 0. So, this 1 kilonewton after resolving horizontally, it will be in the left side direction. So, minus into, so here is the theta, okay. So, after resolving horizontally, it will be the cosine component and it will be cos theta. Cos theta equal to adjacent side by hypotenuse 3 by 5. So, I will assume the force, if this is towards left, now I will assume the force in member PCD in right side direction. So, it will be plus PCD equal to 0. Therefore, PCD is equal to 3 by 5. It is in compression. So, these are the two values I have obtained. Similarly, calculate joint C. You will obtain again here 4 by 5 and this one will be 3 by 5 compression. So, these 4 members are in compression and this member PCF is also, PCF will be in the tension 1 kilonewton. Okay. So, this diagram is known as P2 diagram. So, till now we have calculated P0 forces, P1 forces and P2 forces. From the three forces we have obtained 3 diagrams. Now we will start the final step. Now the last step will be calculation of final forces, that is P forces. So in this step we have to draw one table. So this is the format of the table. So in the first column it is member, length, area, P0, P1, P2, P0, P1, P0, P2, P1 square, P1, P2, P2 square. So finally P equal to P0 plus P1 R1 plus P2 R2. So members means the whatever the members which are given in the truss, we should write all the members in this column. So from the given truss I have written all the members in this column, and whatever I have taken redundants I have placed that members at last. So now we have to fill the lengths of each member. So the length is given in meters. Now convert that meters into centimeter because the area is given in square centimeters. So in this column write the length of each member, that means length of member AB, length of member BC, length of member CD. The lengths are obtained from the given question. So I have written all the lengths in this column. So I have converted the meters into centimeters. 1 meter equal to 100 centimeters. 5 meters equal to 500 centimeters. So now fill the areas. So now write the areas of all the respective members. So it is also given in the question. So I am writing here. The length of AB member is given as 50 square centimeter. The length of member BC is given as 30 centimeter. 30. So similarly fill all the values. So after filling the areas, so one thing I should tell you is that in the calculations I am not considering the length and areas. So we know that delta equal to PL by AE. So here the length by area ratio is constant for all the members. 500 by 50 it is 10, 300 by 30 10. So similarly these all members the ratio is 10. So after forming the equations, the 10 will be in the common and it will be finally equal to 0. So I am not considering the L by A ratios. So if you want to consider, you can consider, it is not a problem. So now we have to fill the P0 values of member AB. P0 force in member AB. So we have to take the P0 diagram, and from the P0 diagram we have to fill these values. So here is the P0 diagram. Now from this P0 diagram, place the values in this column. For example, P0 value for the member AB is minus 100. It is in compression, so it is minus. So similarly, P0 value for BC member is minus 60. P0 value for CD member is again minus 60. So similarly place all the values from this diagram for the respective members. So as you can see, I have written all the values. Similarly, write the P1 values for all the members in this column. So here is the P1 diagram. So by seeing this diagram, place the values here. P1 value for AB member is 0. For the BC member it is 3/5, or you can also write 0.6. Okay. So for the member CD it is again 0. Similarly fill all the values. So I have filled all the P1 values in this diagram. Now similarly fill all the P2 values from the P2 diagram. Here is the P2 diagram, and the P2 value for member AB is 0. P2 value for member BC is again 0. P2 value for CD member is -3/5. It is in compression. Similarly fill all the values by seeing this diagram. After filling the P2 values, now we should multiply P0 with the P1. That means multiplication of this value into this value. So -100 into 0, it is 0. -60 into -3/5 will be 36. -60 into 0, 0. Similarly multiply all the values and fill in this column. So I have multiplied all the values. Now multiply P0 into P2. That means this P0 value into P2 value. It is again 0. 60 into 0, 0. 60 into -3/5, it will be 36. Okay, 36. 100 into 0, 0. Similarly fill all the values in this column. Now the next one is P1 square, that is square of this column. So 0 square is 0, 3/5 square is 9/25, and 0 square is again 0, 0. Similarly square all the P1 values and write here. The next one is multiplication of P1 and P2. That means multiply this column with this column. 0. Again when these twos are multiplied, 0, 0, 0. Similarly multiply all the values. Similarly P2 square means square of this value, 0, 0. 9/25, again 0. Similarly square all the values and calculate here. So after calculation of all the columns, now add all these columns. Okay, so add all these columns and write at bottom. So since I am not having any place here, so I am writing here. Okay, now if we add all these values, I got -196. Similarly add all these values, I got as -196. Now add all these values, it is 4. This is 0.64. We add all these values and write the sum at the bottom. So P2 square, on adding all these values, I got it as 4. So these are the values I have got on adding each column. After adding all the columns, we have to write the compatibility equation. So the first compatibility equation is delta 10 plus delta 11 into R1 plus delta 12 into R2. Now you have to substitute these values in this equation. So it will be finally equal to 0. So if you don't know how to substitute these values here, then see, this is delta 10, this is 01, 10, 01. So in the place of delta 01, you have to place this value. So -196 plus delta 11. That means if you take P1 square, it is the multiplication of P1 into P1. Delta 11, and here also 11. So take this value. So 4 into R1 plus delta 12. Here also 12. So take this value, 0.64 R2 equal to 0. So this is the first equation, and the next compatibility equation is delta 20 plus delta 21 into R1 plus delta 22 into R2 equal to 0. So here you observe that it is 20. This is 02. So you have to take this value. It is -196 plus 21. Here 12. 21, 12. So it is related to this value. So take this value. So if you don't know, then use this technique. If you don't know how to substitute, use this technique. And delta 22 means P2 is the multiplication of P2 into P2. So 2, 2. So here also 2, 2. So take that value, 4 into R2 equal to 0. This is the second equation. So on solving these two equations, you will get the value of R1 and R2. So after solving, I got R1 equal to 42.424 kilonewton. This is also 42.24 kilonewton. So I got both the values as same. Now what you will do is that place these two values in this formula. So you know that P naught value is here minus 100. So I am writing here for one member I will calculate P is equal to P naught plus P1 into R1 plus P2 into R2. So that is the formula which is given here. So P naught value for AB member is minus 100. So P1 value is 0 into R1 value is 42.24 plus P2 value is again 0 into R2, it is 42.24. Therefore it will be minus 100. So the force in the member AB is minus 100. So P naught value for member BC is minus 60 plus, I will write that also, minus 60. P naught value is minus 60 plus P1 is minus 3 by 5 into R1 is 42.24 again plus P2 R2 plus P2 is 0 again R2 is 42.24. So on solving this you will get minus 85.34. So the force in member is minus 85.434. Similarly P0, P1, P2 values are obtained from here. So substitute P0, P1, P2 values in this equation and R1, R2 values, you substitute these two values. Then you will get the forces in all the members. So as you can see that these are the forces which I have calculated for all the members by placing the R1 and R2 values. This is the process of analyzing the truss by using the method of consistent deformation. So in this method we will use the compatibility equations. We will substitute the values in that equation and find out the unknown forces. So in this way we have to analyze the truss. Thank you.